I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. I am Jim Beaver. I am here in Arizona, in the flesh, no longer fighting those damn winter storms. I got to tell you, it is great to be back in T-shirt weather in Arizona. I love me some Midwest, but you can have the winters. I'll take the summers. Those of you just catching up, obviously this is a Wednesday edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor, and I am your host, Jim Beaver. There for a while, I didn't know if I was ever going to do another radio show again. Obviously, we're supposed to have a show on Monday. That got moved back till Tuesday, and now here we are on Wednesday, and we're throwing it down. It's going to be a great show, just like you always expect out of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, but just a few days late. Reason being, I am the new host of Rally America Radio. I'll be traveling with Rally America to all 8 rounds of the Rally America National Championship this year. All good news, right? Well, the bad news comes in when you're supposed to fly out of Traverse City, Michigan, and back to Arizona on Sunday so you can get to a General Tire photo shoot on Monday. We'd already pushed back the Down and Dirty Radio Show till Tuesday because of that 100th anniversary photo shoot. Only happens once every 100 years. Count me in. So the Down and Dirty Radio Show got delayed by a day. Problem is there happened to be a winter storm that decided to demolish the Midwest and delay pretty much every flight from every major airport. So I'm flying out of a small airport in northern Michigan. Flights got canceled. Anyways, I had like 5 or 6 flights canceled in a 24-hour period. I ended up renting a car in Traverse City, which is the northernmost part of southern Michigan. So get out your maps and study up on your geography to figure that one out. Northernmost part of southern Michigan, and I rented a car, 7-hour drive from Traverse City to Chicago in an all-wheel drive Ford Escape. Nice little Ford plug there for you, you blue oval freaks. But so we're in this, we're in this middle of this winter storm. They're like, you don't want to do that. I said, what do you mean? They're like, well, we can't fly you out till Wednesday. I'm like, well, I have a race. I got photo shoots. I got a radio show. I got stuff that needs to happen. And we don't advise you driving in a winter storm. Well, the heck with that. I rent the car anyways. Drive 8 hours in a blizzard to get to Chicago to find out the flight they rebooked in Chicago was canceled. So what happens? I beg, borrow, and steal the airline to get me on a flight on Monday morning. They were able to sneak me in a seat and anyways, fly out, get back to Phoenix, and the rest is history. But talk about an interesting weekend of travel. But I got to tell you, I witnessed some amazing rally racing. Those of you that haven't been to a Rally America event, you're definitely missing out. A little bit different, comparable to desert off-road racing. It's adventure motorsports, I like to call it. You just don't buy a ticket and go and sit down in the bleachers and watch cars go in a circle for 4 or 5 hours and call it a day. I mean, you got to earn your keep if you're a rally fan or if you're a desert racing fan. You got to get out there amongst the woods and the desert and the wilderness and find a good spot. And I got to tell you, just an epic event. We'll get to that later in our Dirtfish Rally Report, talking some Rally America, and we'll also have the podium interviews from Rally America Radio. We're going to be airing those live on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. That's later on, but. This week, you desert racing fans, this is a big week for me. It's the kickoff to the 2015 desert racing, off-road racing season. And I got to tell you, this is probably one of my busiest weeks of the year. There was never a chance I was going to cancel the Down and Dirty radio show, but I got to tell you, man, I am busy this week. Get back in. We had our 100th anniversary General Tire photo shoot for the desert racing team, Team GT. And we had the opportunity. A lot of you have been in the Southwest, have heard of the iconic desert bar. We had it out there, and it's just going to be some amazing photography. I can't wait for those pictures, to come in. It's the one day a year I actually put on makeup. So go figure. They actually have a Hollywood makeup artist out there, dresses up all the guys because we're kind of homely looking, I guess. Makes us look all pretty and take our picture. But solid photo shoot. Excited to get those out. And those of you that didn't notice, it was a big day for me because we've had kind of under wraps. You've seen some teasers, a new livery for the number 15. That's right. Since 2006, we've had the same livery, dropping an all-new livery yesterday. Not to mention the first ever 2015 F-150 trophy truck. I got to tell you, this whole process has been months in the making. You want to go through how you want to talk a little bit of the business side of motorsports and see how something like this kind of is created. Back in the early fall, I approached Ford, who are partners of mine. My family also has a Ford dealership, so we got some ties there. I said, hey, I want to run a 2015 F-150, and by then trucks aren't on the market yet, none of that. They didn't even have enough parts to be able to do this fiberglass work. So wait. Late fall, right after SEMA maybe, I got parts shipped to me for a 2015 F-150, which hadn't even hit ground yet. They sent me, headlights, grill, all the front assembly pieces to get the molds made. So we take it to Southern California. People at Trailer Products, good people over there. They've done a lot of fiberglass work for me, build a lot of trophy truck fiberglass, do some work in Hollywood as well. And they just got a great shop there. So they do Kyle LeDuc's fiberglass for his short course trucks. So kind of gives you an idea of who they work with. Solid people over there at Trailer Products. So they get to work on designing this 2015 F-150, first one they've ever done with these parts from Ford. And finally we get that back, and I think it was first part of January when we got that back. And once we get that back, it was going about designing a paint scheme. I wanted something totally different that we'd never done before. Had some things I like, and obviously I'm involved in the rally culture a lot, and I kind of want a little rally influence there. Dirtfish brand partners of mine, and so Trevor Wirt, who is credited motorsports designer as far as paint schemes goes. He's done all the Dirtfish rally cars. He's done David Higgins' GRC car. Just a solid designer. Talk with him, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I love what you did with Higgins' GRC car. I love what what you've done with with the school cars and their new promotional cars. So let's do something like that." But I said, "It can't be the orange, triangles in that. It's got to be." It's got to be something different. I said red, because we're not so much orange. I love orange, but it just doesn't kind of flow with the theme of things. So we do that, and and so he goes, all right. So he put something out there, and loved it. And I said, you guys always have kind of an orange background or a white background. I said, Ken Block, good friend of mine, big supporter of the show. I said, I absolutely love the cyan blue that he uses on his car. I said, let's make that the background, and then these red triangles. So he throws this all together. Boom, he comes out. It's rocking as far as design on paper. We shoot all that over to the wrap shop, Empire Wraps in Yucca Valley, California. Good guys there. Empire Destructive, I guess is their formal name. If you're looking for a wrap or anything, they wrap anything from boats to trailers to cars to motorcycles, helmets, whatever. They can dial you in. But they ended up wrapping the truck in like 2 days. Literally got it back Saturday, a couple days ago. While I was in Michigan, I didn't even see the truck until Monday when I got back Monday night. We had the photo shoot on Tuesday. So it was literally wham, bam. This deal is months in the making, and it comes down to the deadline to get to this General Tire shoot. And I think we're lucky that mine got canceled, moved to Tuesday instead of Monday. But anyways, it all ended up working out. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think of the new paint scheme, the new livery, something new? It's 2015. It's the year of the 15. Also, the year of the 2015 F-150. Obviously, a lot of 15s going on there, so we're doing something special. At Jim Beaver 15 on Twitter. Hit me up. Let me know what you think of the livery. I'd love to hear from you guys. Always love your feedback. If you love it, tell me. If you hate it, just keep it to yourself. No, seriously, let me know. I know we've had some critics of it saying they hate it. Some other people saying, hey, man, this is super solid. We're digging it. But, a lot of rally influence there. Some David Higgins, some Ken Block, a little Dirtfish Rally School. So, hopefully you can kind of see the themes of things and where we're going with it. But, let me know what you think. And that's what it's going to look like for 2015. So you're going to have to live with it for a year, whether you like it or hate it. But love to hear from you guys, as always. But, definitely a big week. Parker 425, Best in the Desert Parker 425, kicking off this week. And I got to tell you, today we're doing the Down and Dirty radio show. Guests include, I haven't even got to that, man. I'm so behind. We got Ami Houde calling in, my good friend Ami Houde. She's got her standard spot. We're going to be talking Supercross later in the show. Always look forward to that. Appreciate Ami chiming in. And, we've got a lot of fan feedback. A lot of you guys love Ami on the show, man. I think a lot of you guys have, I don't know. I mean, you guys have spoken. You absolutely like Ami Houde on this show, and she does a solid job. So very lucky to have her, when we can get her on air. But thank you guys for giving us the feedback, and glad you like her. She's definitely got a good knowledge base as far as two-wheel motorsports goes, and pretty sharp and and witty, and you gotta love it. So Ami Houde, she's gonna be calling in later on in the show. We've also got Jim Riley tentatively scheduled to stop by. He's in town for the General Tire photo shoots as well. He's got a few obligations with them today. He's going to try and skip in studio, not a call-in. We're going to actually try and get Jim to skip in and sit down for an interview for a few minutes, talk a little Azunia Tequila 2015. Got a new livery on his truck as well. So maybe talk a little bit about that. But always good catching up with my good friend Azunia Jim. And also, we've got in the hopper, we've got a recorded interview with Casey Folks from Best of the Desert. My boys over at the Parker Livecast did. I pop on that show from time to time. It was supposed to be a full-time gig, but I'm so busy. I feel guilty, but I just can't. I just can't contribute as often to that podcast as I would like to. But that being said, they did a solid interview with Casey Folks. You won't hear my voice in it, but it's definitely worth airing here on the Down and Dirty radio show, kind of talking about his life, future Best in the Desert, and things like that, and some of the, decisions they've made recently that have affected a lot of racers. So we'll definitely drop that at some point in the show as well. So, solid lineup of guests. We've also got those podium interviews from Rally America. So, looking forward to getting to that in our Dirtfish Rally Report. But first off, before we get to that, I think it's time for our General Tire Parker 425 preview, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. And I got to tell you, man, 100th anniversary, they are pulling out all the stops. And they're making things happen this year in Best in the Desert as well as Lucas Oil. So look for a lot of General Tire branding. It's going to be a great year for General Tire, and just by judging from the photo shoot, talking with the marketing people that were out there, lots of good things planned for General Tire. So if you're a racer, you need some tires, definitely look at General Tire. If you're a consumer, you need some tires. I got to tell you, I've got them on all my personal vehicles as well as my race cars. You're not going to find a better tire anywhere. So General Tire, and this is your Best in the Desert Parker 425 preview. And I got to tell you right now, big week. We've got today kind of the kickoff to things. I've got I got a autograph signing at the local youth center later today, but tomorrow things really get kicked off here in Parker, Arizona. We got qualifying on tap in the morning, both trick trucks and 1500s, also known as Class 1. And then we also have the 6100, the spec trophy trucks or spec trick trucks. They are going to be qualifying for the first time ever as well. So, we're going to have over 100 qualifiers. Moves on to the downtown experience in downtown Parker tomorrow. And the Napa Parker Pit Crew Challenge presented by Spanky's RV and Marine that the Down and Dirty Radio Show puts on and I host. It's going to be downtown Parker tomorrow night. Race Desert will be bringing you full coverage of that tomorrow night. So watch for that video. Should be a great time. And if you're in the Parker area, you definitely want to make it to that. Then we got Contingency on Friday on tap, Race Day on Saturday on tap. And I have to tell you right now, Race Day Saturday, looking at this entry list, I'm going to give you a rundown real quick, but man, it's a stack field. 1400 Trick Truck, Jason Voss. We got Carlos Lopez, myself, Juan Carlos Lopez, Tim Herbst, the two McMillans, Steve Olagus, TJ Flores, Jerry Welchel in that new truck. We got Robbie Pierce, Will Statson. There's Justin Lofton debuting his new trick truck. Troy Vest, always competitive. Jimmy Knuckles, just he's just crazy on the gas all the time. We got the boys from Rock and Roll Off-Road. I think they're going to be debuting a new truck. So we've got them. Craig Potts, always fast. Rob McCackman, Steve Serapis. Supercross.com truck, Dale Dondell, always fast. Jesse Jones and Bryce Menzies teaming up. Robbie Gordon, he's going to be in action. We got the other McMillan brother, Luke, as well as Dan Racing. We got Josh Daniel in the twin turbo truck. We got Troy Herbst, Steve Strobel, Kevin Curtis, Scott Whipple, the two Wyricks. I mean, you talk about a stacked field. Really only one or two drivers missing from this that I can think of. Would be B.J. Baldwin and Tavo Vidosula. And I guess Steven Eugenio as well. But you got to think, man, they're definitely missing out on probably one of the most stacked entry lists in recent memory in off-road. I would put this up, close to the one from the Mint 400 last year. So, BJ Tavo, if you're listening into the radio show, get your ass in gear, get the truck on the trailer, bring it out to Parker, man. We got almost 50 trick trucks. It's going to be insane. So, looking at 1,500, I mean, just a stack field there with Corey Kesar and the Wilson, CJ Hutchins, my General Tire teammate, Steve Hengeveld. Steve always fast in a Class 1 car, since moving up. We got Adam Householder back running a Class 1,500 car. Haven't seen him in a while. We've got Sam Barry debuting that brand new Jimco single seat. Nobody's ever seen a current generation Jimco single seat. So you put Sam Barry in that, and he's always fast. It's going to be even faster. Harley Letner, Charlie McDowell, just a stacked field. 7,200, 6,100. It's going to be crazy. If you guys are rolling into Parker for this event, you definitely want to get here early. Spectating, it's wide open. It's a great race to spectate. Lots of places to go and see. If I wasn't racing, this would be one I would go to spectate. It's going to be that good. So, you guys definitely want to make your way out. Lots of festivities over the course of 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Lots to take in. You're not fighting Super Bowl. Like you did last year, the event getting pushed back a week. It's going to be a solid weekend of racing action, and our boys at race-desert.com, that's desert with a Z, they are going to have the full coverage of the event, live tracking, scoring. Obviously, they're going to have coverage of the Pit Crew Challenge. So Race Desert, that's going to be your place to go for all the information and news this weekend. Also, big news, Best of the Desert. A lot of you saw the fires from the Score San Felipe 250. Best of the Desert making some announcements, some of them a bit controversial, but I tend to like them, about fueling in off-road. And I got to tell you, I think it's all good things. Best of the Desert basically making these new fuel mandates as far as safety goes, and finally bringing off-road into the current, into the current generation. We've been in the Stone Age for a while, so big supporter of that. You want all the information, BITD, Best in the Desert's website, bitd.com, and Race Desert, there's all kinds of threads on it, so we're not going to get into it too deep, but I got to say, I put my stamp on approval in the new rulings they just made. So all good things coming from Best in the Desert, and that was your Parker 425 preview, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. And I think that's a good segue into this quick, not so quick, but into this interview with Casey Folks that our good friends over at the Parker Livecast did this past week. So we're going to skip over to that. And when we come back, we will have some Dirtfish Rally Report for you.
Excellent. All right, Mary. Hey, Casey, are you there? Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Best in the desert. I am doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really
great,
well.
Casey.
Thanks for joining us here. You know, last week, Casey, Josh and I were saying it must be pretty cool to be Casey Folks, the guy at the center of this huge race and many others every year with all these big names in the sport in your orbit. But I bet most people don't know the really unglamorous side, so to speak, the amount of work that goes in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like anything. Sometimes it all looks good on the outside, and then when you
Right.
inside of you go, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Well, first I would like to thank you for inviting me on the show, too. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Do you have an office and stuff?
Yes, I'm in my office right now in Las Vegas. Best in the Desert is headquartered here in Las Vegas.
Are you in there much? Are you in the office much?
Yes, quite a bit until, of course, there's an event, and then I move on to that event. As an example, in Parker, when we go down there, we'll be there for about 8-9 days in Parker. And then we go out in the field a lot to work on the events, different events, do logistics, GPSing, or whatever it might be.
Right.
But most of the time I'm here in my office.
And so there's no real typical day, in a sense, for you because you're running around. Either you're organizing from your office or you're maybe out here in Parker or somewhere else where you need to be to organize a race, get ready for it?
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, this job is a 7-day, 24-hour-a-day job. There's just hardly any time that I'm not working on, thinking about, making notes, whatever it might be in regards to Best in the Desert and these events. Best in the Desert is like a juggernaut, and if you don't keep control of it, it can get out of control real quick.
Yeah.
So it's something you got to stay right on top of all the time.
Wow. How did you get into desert racing in the first place?
It's funny, we're having a staff meeting next door. I left the staff meeting to come over, and a guy just asked me in the meeting, a medical representative, he goes, how'd you come up with the name Best in the Desert anyway? So I told him that story.
Uh-huh.
My background, my expertise was motorcycles. In fact, I still have a motorcycle shop here in Las Vegas where we sell off-road bikes. So my expertise since I was a little kid and has always been riding motorcycles, racing motorcycles, and, of course, going into the motorcycle business. So it's probably like you guys. You find your niche in life that you're good at. I'm good at logistics and putting on events. That's what my expertise is in.
And did you find
so
that out pretty early on?
Yeah, I think so. I would say in my 20s. I formed a motorcycle club here, an off-road club called the Ground Shakers, and then I started a racing organization in Nevada called Motorcycle Racing Association of Nevada, and I developed from that, and just my skills got better and better and better, and then I thought, I got lucky. I went to work as an event coordinator for an Italian company called Acerbis, so they sent me to Peru, to Morocco, to Tunisia, and developed a lot of skills at long-distance off-road events, and then put events on here in the United States for them for 3 years.
Okay.
So,
that begins to make a little sense of how you landed here. Yeah, that's very interesting. And you said the word logistics. I mean, more than anything else, that's the skill you need to be Casey Folks, right?
That's that's what I'm good at, I think, and putting things together. And in the world we live in, just like you go into a store somewhere, you want to be treated right. You're going to spend your money, and we try to go above and beyond all of our competition when it comes to the competitors that race with us, the people that race with us. We make sure that everybody's treated fair and treated professionally, honest, and we run Best in the Desert with a lot of transparency so people can see and understand what we're doing out there. And I think we're right there at the top. I don't want to blow my horn too much and tell you we're number one, but we're definitely banging bars with the guys there that thinks that they're number one.
Well, you're number one to me, Casey Folks.
I
tell you what, because Parker absolutely loves the Best in the Desert series, and Parker's been a locale for off-road racing since it became a sport. I mean, it's a perfect setting for that, and I'm just very glad that we have such a wonderful product with Best in the Desert that comes here not once but twice a year.
And Mary, you were saying you think Casey's number one, right?
Oh, I do. I know it for a fact, too, because Casey gets permits for years-long periods, and I watch him every year at the start of that race, and he leans into each vehicle, shakes their hands, and I can read his lips going, "Good luck." And this man is a gentleman. I can't do enough for him when he's here.
Do you remember being at your first off-road race, Casey, and seeing it all happen for the first time? Why do you think people get hooked on it, like you got hooked on it?
Oh, I think it's a passion. The people that race, and by the way, Mary, thank you very much for the nice words. I appreciate that. It's a passion, and the people, if you went through and interviewed everybody that's racing and said, "What do you do for a living?" You'll find that every walk of life is there. I just met a guy the other day, and I asked him, "What do you do for a living, Kevin?" And he builds hospitals all over the country, and then he staffs them. And I said, just like me, how did you get into that? I found I was good at something like that, and blah blah blah. So there's just every walk of life is involved with off-road racing, and it's a passion. There's no question about it. I mean, you think about it, these trucks now are about $600,000. They get about 1 mile to the gallon. The fuel costs $9 a gallon for them.
Yeah.
And they're out there just going for it. You know, they love it.
I mean, it's literally, though, you take that cost and the people think it's worth it. You know what I mean? That's the big thing.
Yes. People work hard all day long, and they want to go and enjoy themselves and have a good time at what they're doing. I want to go back, if you don't mind, and hit on Parker, Arizona for just a few words. I do a lot of interviews, and people ask me about Parker and off-road racing. I will call Parker, Arizona probably the off-road racing headquarters in the United States. If you took a big boiling pot and put all the ingredients in to make a great off-road race, Parker has it. That is the headquarters. If you take the land, the BLM, the Crit Indians, the people that live in Parker, the enthusiasm there is incredible, and it turns out it is a legend. You know, the theme of the race is the legend lives on, and Parker is one of the oldest off-road races in the United States. And a lot of it, you know, I'd like to take a lot of the credit for it, but a lot of it has to do with the people, just like Mary, yourselves, the Crit Indians. The Bureau of Land Management has really comes forward to help me with this event. The La Paz County is incredible. The people that work there are just incredible. Town of Parker, the mayor. There's so many people involved with us being successful in Parker that I'd have to take 15 minutes of your show to thank them all. So once again, you guys are the off-road racing headquarters in the United States.
Yeah, you know, you see that in Parker, how the passion is there. This is a racing town, man, and you guys are really doubling down on Parker. You know, you added the Blue Water Challenge, and now back a bunch of times throughout the course of the year. So obviously that's true. Mary?
I just wanted to thank Casey for bringing 3 wonderful races to our area. You know, this is our big time of the year where we have all of our winter visitors, all of our second homeowners, the people that come here in the summertime that use the river are here for the desert as well. And what a great event that we have now.
Oh, I think so too, Mary. I know that special events are growing, just like the Pips Crew Challenge there. That's going to grow into something big. I've talked to a couple of the people that are sponsoring that, and they have some great ideas, and they want to take it to another level. We have 100 entries in the time trials.
Wow.
And that's more entries than a lot of people get in their races. We have, just in the time trials, we have, I think it's just over 100 entries, something like 105.
Wow.
That's a lot of firepower out there on that course.
Speaking of the entries, real quick, Casey, you mentioned the gas price. I remember when the gas hit, $4 for regular unleaded, and people sort of started to wonder if desert racing would be affected, if it would start to decline, because it's a very fuel-thirsty sport, of course, and it didn't. So, do you think it matters that we're now filling up at $1.70 a gallon for regular in places? Does that affect the number of entries or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Not one way or the other.
When I referred to $8.50 or $9 a gallon, that's for race fuel, by the way.
Right.
Special fuel for those vehicles. No, we noticed during, we'll call it the recession, the slowdown, The 3 or 4 years there, our entries really never wavered.
Wow.
They did a little bit in the motorcycle community, but the car and truck community, it's a deep pocket sport. You know, it costs a lot of money to do it, and apparently the people that do it, they had enough money to continue. And like we talked earlier, when you have that kind of money tied up in a race vehicle, you want to use it. And that's their relief, is to go out and drive those vehicles. So, no, I don't see any difference in the $1.70 or $1.80 a gallon. Probably does have an effect, but our entries right now, by the way, for the Parker 425 are 220 entries.
Wow. 220.
Wow.
Now, Casey, how high could you go on an entry level? Because I know that they go off in classes and they get their spots during the time trial. So how many vehicles could we feasibly have out there on that racetrack in that given period of time? It's not nearly 300, right?
No, we couldn't, to be honest with you. Starting the race and the logistics of the race, we couldn't get 300 entries off the line before the leader gets back around. So we have it calculated. We can handle up to about 250 entries at the Parker 425, and after that, we've got a problem because that overall leader is going to be coming back to the finish line, and we've got to get all these people off the line before he gets there. Not the finish line, but the main pit. So
right.
We monitor it constantly in the office here. We're constantly doing the figures to make sure that we're going to get everybody off the line. We're just discussing that next door. Are we going to be able to get everybody off the line? And
it does sound like you're close to that, right?
Pardon me, sir?
I'm sorry, Casey. It does sound like you're close to that. You said like 250. It sounds like you're going to be, within the ballpark.
We think we will. If rolling, I have people all the time go, how many entries are you going to get? And if I knew that exact number, I would be downtown in Las Vegas running the roulette wheel on red or green. So those are magical numbers. We don't know. We can only estimate and look at what we did last year. And all of our races in 2014 had bigger turnouts than they did in 2013. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you our Parker 250 that we just had there in January had a bigger entry in 2015 than it did in 2014. So we're off to a good start, and anything above 225 entries for me is plenty. That's plenty of things for us to worry about and keep track about.
So many things. And I remember reading an article not that long ago, Casey, where it talked about, it used the word Herculean to describe what it takes to pull off a race like this, one of these big races like the Vegas Torino or the 425 here in Parker. And it made mention of the fact that, much, much, much younger guys than Casey, this article said, would have a hell of a time trying to make this work. And yet Casey pulls out. Is it, I mean, you make it look easy. Is it easy or is it crazy?
Well, I refer to that, what you just asked. There was a commercial in Las Vegas. It was a cleaning business. It was called Al Phillips, and he would advertise on TV, and he'd say, I can clean your suit for $4.95, and another guy would say, hey, Al, how can you do that? And his answer was, it's simple when you know your business. So I can maybe make it look simple because I know what I'm doing. And like I said, I have my niche in life. I'm good at it. I've got a lot of experience at it, and I've got a lot of good people around me. Sometimes it makes me look like Superman, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things that you work at, and you want to perfect it. I want to be the best. That's why I chose the name Best in the Desert. I wanted to be the best at what I was doing, and we're working that way. We're like everybody. We make mistakes, and we try to rectify those, look at it, and say, okay, we got to do it better. You mentioned
earlier you wanted to be number one, and you say you want to be the best. Does that drive to be the best, does that come from competitiveness in you, do you think?
I think so. My racing career, once again, not trying to blow my own horn, but I won 16 number one number plates, that's 16 championships, and so it was always a goal to, when I raced, was to try to be the best.
Yeah.
Was I? No, but that was my goal, and the same with promoting the events, trying to be the best. And, once again, we try desperately to treat everybody with respect. There's nobody in this organization, to me, that's any better than the next guy. We have a slogan: it doesn't matter how much money you have, who your sponsor is, or what your name is, you're all treated equally. In Best in the Desert.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what it's all about. It does allow you to understand a guy like Robbie Gordon, for example, when, a couple of years ago he's disqualified because of a radio issue or whatever it was, and you can understand how he might feel about that. You want to be number one. He wants to be number one, right?
Well, yeah, and by the way, it was penalized. It was a penalty and not a disqualification.
Oh, right. Yes.
It was enough to cost him the overall win. And I love Robbie to death. I respect him. He's a great driver. He's probably could very easily be the best at off-road racing. We're like everybody. Sometimes people try to stretch the rules and try to do this, but if you don't treat them equally, then you lose respect from the rest of the racers to go, we're trying to create a level playing field out there for everyone.
Yes.
So
very good point.
Robbie has entered in this race. He's coming
Great.
back, and he would love to. I know he'd love to win the Parker 425 overall. I think in his life, Parker plays a special part too.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a son that races in this race, but he follows the rules just like everybody else does.
No special
favors. If you don't
favors.
have that, you lose the respect of the rest of the people that are out there.
Now, speaking of Robbie Gordon, obviously he has this financial backing, high sponsorships, major sponsors. His equipment is top of the line, and nothing puts that into more perspective than going on YouTube and typing in 1989 Parker 400. And when you look at the vehicles that were around when it was the Parker 400 back in 1989 compared to what it is in 2015, wow. You want to talk about a difference. Everything from suspension to operation to the speed to the everything, equipment in general. This sport has come so far, and I can only imagine where it's going with technology, Casey.
Well, and I will say this with Best in the Desert. I've tried to be the leader in the technology inside of our sport when it comes to moving and advancing with technology. We're the ones that introduced the Class 1000. It was completely dying. Some people call them Class 10s. They were completely dying class, nobody building new ones. We have 50 entries in Class 1000 in Parker because we changed the rules and we allowed the water-cooled engines to be a part of it and get away from those air-cooled engines. We have a new class called the 6100 class. It's huge. I think we have 26, 27, or 28 entries in Parker coming up.
Is that the Trick Light?
Truck. Well, it's an unlimited truck with a spec engine. So you can have any kind of a truck you want, but it's got to have this certain engines. You can only buy 3 engines and put in it. Puts it back on a level playing field.
Wow.
So we're introducing new technology constantly. One of our partners in this sport is Ford Racing. Ford's been with Best in the Desert since 1999. So they are introducing new engines all the time, new technology, and it bleeds over into Best in the Desert and what we're doing here. They'll approach us and say, hey, we got a brand new EcoBoost engine. Can you help us with a class? We would like to develop this, and we do that. We work hand in hand with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But been a good partnership and a good relationship between Ford and Best in the Desert.
Are there any big trends that you see push in the future? I've heard of a few off-roaders with, maybe not in races yet, I'm not sure, with electric powertrains and things like that. I'm not sure if they're fast enough to compete with the big boys yet. Anything else that people weren't doing 5 years ago that's changing the sport now and will in the future?
Turbocharge. We have now 4 classes that are turbocharged engines.
Oh.
Electric will never work here because the distance, you can't go far enough with it. They're fast.
Oh, the range,
but they
yeah.
don't go long enough. A real good one off-road is going to maybe get you 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't going to get you to midway. So you're going to have a problem there. But the turbocharged engines, we have a guy in this race that can win this race overall with a twin turbocharged 1,000-horsepower engine. And that thing moves. And it's a good truck. He's an unlimited budget. Just like Robbie Gordon, he's got the trickiest things out there. And this twin turbo, this fellow's won 2 time trials in a row. he's going to definitely be competitive.
That'll be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he'll be competitive. If you ask me, who do you think's going to win, Parker? I wouldn't even start to answer that. There is probably legitimately 20 people, 20 teams that can win that race overall.
Wow.
They're all on a level playing field when it comes to the high dollar vehicles, the best teams, the big supports. Any one of those 20 people can win that.
Well, and honestly, that's what's best for the sport. When you have one person that is overwhelmingly to the favorite because of his equipment, that's no fun to watch. When you have 20,
Yeah, right.
now that's competitive. That's something that, as a fan of the sport, I like to see.
And that's just in that one class. You think about all the different classes, and like Casey was saying, you got some classes where the engines are, all the same now, everything the same. So that really does add to the competition, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be competitive. I wouldn't bet money on anybody at Parker. Even the guy who wins the time trials doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win the race. We had a guy who finished Vegas to Reno a couple of years ago. First three vehicles in, we're all happy thinking they got first, second, and third, and the guy who started 40 minutes behind him won the race because nobody was paying attention to corrected time.
Wow.
And you got to kind of remember that Parker's on corrected time. Not physically, but corrected time. So it's you got to keep track of it. And by the way, we will. This will be televised on NBC Sports, Lucas Productions, and everything will be live time with live streaming out there also. So
amazing.
At the finish line, there will be live times posted at the Mesa as the race is going on. They'll have all the split times up there.
Excellent. Wow.
And
So our
Casey,
technology
that's
too,
true.
electronics-wise, social media-wise, is moving way past where Casey's at. I'm a bit antiquated. I still have a flip phone.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mary.
That's funny. Oh, I was going to ask Casey, all of that filming is going to be done through racedesert.com?
Yes, racedesert.com will be doing all of the split times on the race and letting everybody know, and they'll also be doing it all live on racedesert.com.
What is the race like for you when you leave that start? You get that first guy off the start line, usually somewhere around 9:30, something like that in the morning, right? And then after that, where do you disappear to? Where do you go?
I'm doing about 30 different things. I go from there. I don't know if I want to give you my whole layout, but I go
Right.
from there. I clean the first 3 miles of the race course.
Oh.
Then I go back to the main pit, and I'm usually on radios, and my job in the main pit is to make sure all the pit teams and everybody is back away from the course, making sure that they're doing everything properly in there. So I have a lot of duties before I actually move to the finish line. Then I set the finish line up and get ready for some of the leaders. Remember, some of these classes are 2-lap classes, so we may very well have a couple of 2-lap finishers before the overall leader gets his 3 laps in.
Okay.
So from that point till about midnight, I'm at the finish line, and we usually finish closing down the finish line about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
One of the things that people comment on about Best in the Desert races, too, is the safety. You guys have had a very, very good track record. What do you think it is that makes the races safe like they are?
I would say number one is caring. I learned a long time ago when I worked for the people in Italy, don't start the race till you have communications all the way around the course. We spend a lot of money, a lot of energy to make sure we have communications. We have 3 different radio systems that I can talk to every person on the course through. So number one is our planning of it. Number 2, you have to care, and you have to spend a lot of time and go above and beyond. That's what we're doing in the next room. I've got all my medical coordinators and my doctors. That we have a full-time doctor with Best in the Desert. They're in the other room there. I stopped the staff meeting to come and make the call, but it's a lot of planning. We plan, we stress, we go above and beyond, and you can't take that lackadaisical attitude and say, it's okay, don't worry about it. We're spending a lot of time building infrastructure in Parker to keep the spectators back. It's a big job, and we're very, very concerned about it. Nobody cares more about safety, believe me, than I do.
Well, I know we have a lot of spectators and potential spectators listening. Is there anything you want to say to them directly, Casey, ahead of this race?
Well, I would say common sense in the world we live in prevails. You have to have common sense. We have built spectator areas, and we have boundaries on those areas. We have barriers up. We have signs up, and everybody has to stay behind those. And then in the world we live in, and I'm sure you fellows and Mary feels the same way, I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. And I respect Parker, I respect our country, I respect the Crit Indians, and you can't throw trash down. Cans, bottles, cups, paper. We have to respect our country and other people's property, and we have to be diligently and pick all that stuff up and take it with you, please. If you're out there and you're spectating, we want you to enjoy the race. You need to stay back away from the race course. These are lethal vehicles moving at 120 miles an hour, and they just can't dodge things. So everybody needs to stay back and go to the spectator areas where they're supposed to be.
Now, I was on bitd.com, which has a fine description of what to expect. And amongst that reading, I found an interesting notice that I'm not sure if this is the first year, but it says an important notice: drones will not be allowed at any BITD event. If you are a media person and you fly a drone, you will lose your press credentials. If you are a pit crew or spectator and fly a drone, the BLM Rangers will be sent to remove you from the area. Please know drones are very dangerous to the safety of all concerned, people in the air and on the ground. Is there a reason why this became an actual regulation?
An issue?
Did it stem from an incident, or are you making a preemptive strike?
Good point. Yeah, it came from an incident. We have, at Parker this year, there's probably going to be 10 helicopters flying. Those are dangerous enough. And at one of our races here recently, we had a fellow fly a drone within 100 feet of the helicopter. It startled the helicopter. Sometimes things look closer. In his opinion, it was 25 or 30 feet away. Other people's opinion, it was 100 feet away. But it startled him. And so then I went and pursued. Before I made that decision, I pursued. And with FAA, you have to have FAA permission to fly a drone commercially. So if you're a guy out there videoing and you're flying a drone and selling your video, that's illegal. And there's only been given 6 drone permits in the United States, commercial permits for drones. So we just felt, make it safe. Let's stop them before we have an incident and somebody gets hurt.
So it's essentially air traffic. It's an air traffic control problem.
It is that, and then there's also the problem, let's suppose the little boy is flying the drone, they run on batteries, that thing stops in the middle of the course, it goes down, and somebody says, hey, let's run and get it, and the next thing you know, we've got somebody hurt or injured because they ran out to get the drone because it ran out of battery and they didn't want to get it squashed. Yeah. So it's just, I felt it's something we don't need. Let's just stop it, and before somebody does get hurt.
It does make sense. The rule and regulation does make sense. I know it will affect the way that they film, because there's a lot of filmmakers on that race circuit that we know of that we've actually had on the show before, and they use an awful lot of drone footage.
Well, I wonder if eventually what might happen is that somebody could maybe apply with Casey to run one, eventually when Casey feels like running them.
Yeah, the people that were in the helicopter, by the way, were the television people.
Oh, okay.
So that just...
Of all the helicopters to get a drone near, that one.
Wow.
Well, I was curious about that, because when I read that a few weeks ago, when I saw it, I thought this is very interesting, because even at the start where Keith and I are doing the broadcast for KLPZ, there's always one right there at the start that starts right about steering wheel level, and then as that green light goes, they lift that out. And I've seen the footage of that a drone before, and it is spectacular. I mean, it puts you right there where a regular camera would.
You're a fan of that footage.
I am a fan of that footage, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of those drones doing damage to people and causing an incident that could cause this race to be compromised. I'm not a fan of that, so I understand that rule, and I would support that rule.
Yeah, it's just like anything. You hate to go through world. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. You hate another law and another law and another rule. And it usually, something when they come about, it's something like this that's happened. And I look at it and you weigh it and you go, I better stop it. before we do have an accident.
Right. It's not a very big one in the whole scheme of the race and everything that you go through with the drivers on the night before and all of that. I mean, it's a whole, if no one's ever been to that drivers meeting, it's just and
there's so many people in there, too. I mean, they don't even have that many people in the bingo hall for bingo.
And you got special meetings for helicopter pilots and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it really is an operation, Casey, and my hat's off, and all of our hats are off to you guys for pulling it off every year. Mary, do you want to talk about the downtown experience real quick, and we'll get Casey back to his meeting?
Yes, I actually just wanted to ask Casey if he could talk about the permit he just got from BLM.
I guess we can announce it. We were going to wait, but we'll announce it. The first time in the history of Bureau of Land Management, we have a 10-year permit for for both of the Parker races.
Wow.
10 years.
And no, they've never issued a 10-year permit before.
So what was it before?
For the last couple of years, it's been a 5-year permit, and that permit expired in 2014. So for 2015 and through the next 10 years, we sat down and talked about it, and they decided they would issue it. We talked to them. We didn't think they would do it, and they came back and said yes.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I would like to add that the Lake Havasu City Field Office, Bureau of Land Management, has been wonderful to Best in the Desert. They have bent over backwards to make sure that we indeed get the Parker 250 and the Parker 425 races. They work hand in hand with us. They work very hard, and we have to meet all the stipulations that they've laid down. So we have a good working relationship.
Awesome. Super glad to hear
good
that,
news.
Casey.
Great news.
And the downtown experience the day before, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Contingency, that's a great time with the this is the spectator race of all of them, really, isn't it?
It is. When we anticipate somewhere between 25 and 30,000 spectators. Between the two bow spectator areas, Shea Road, we have a couple over on Crit Indian Land. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30,000 is the estimated amount of people.
Amazing.
Love it.
It is.
I'll be one of them.
Yeah, and just a couple of years ago, the Bouse Y was closed. And
That's
so
right.
A bunch of us in the community got together and we found some K-rails and we...
All right, that interview is winding down. Thought I'd play that for you guys and let you catch up with what's going on with Best in the Desert and Casey Folks. You are here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and that interview is brought to you by our good friends at the Parker Livecast, airing each and every Friday. Once in a while I pop on over there, but you can find out more information at parkerliveonline.com. There's big links as Parker Livecast, all about off-road racing, bow racing, anything that happens in the Parker area. So definitely check that out, parkerliveonline.com. Appreciate them for allowing me to air that. And thanks for all of you for tuning in. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we are going to talk some Dirtfish Rally Report. Also possibly having Jim Riley stop by. And then we got Ami Houde calling in later on in the show. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. And got any questions for me? Hit me up on Twitter at JimBeaver15. We will be back after this short break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. Just got done with a little interview from Casey, folks. We're going to roll right into our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com or at Dirtfish Rally on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And right now, we're getting into this Dirtfish Rally Report, and it is all about Rally America. I was up at the Sno Drift Rally this past weekend, and I got to tell you, an amazing, amazing event. Hopefully, you all tuned in to RallyAmericaRadio.com, caught all the action from the entire weekend. We were at Service Park, Super Specials, you name it, we were there. We had it covered. But we'll give you a quick rundown of some results, and then we're going to skip to our podium interviews. But first overall, open class winner, David Higgins. Next up, it was Nick Roberts in second overall, first in super production. Lachlan O'Sullivan in third overall and second in super production. Peter Fatella sneaking into that top 5 overall with a second in open class and a fourth overall finish. Gary Gill, he finished up in 5th and 3rd in super production. Also, a team of Troy Miller and John Hall, first two-wheel drive across the line in 6th overall. Brenton Kelly, 7th overall, solid finish for him in that FY Racing entry. 7th overall and 3rd in open class. We had James Robinson in the Honda Fit, pulling up in 8th overall. First in the B-Spec cars, Cameron Steele, 9th overall, second in two-wheel drive. And those were your official finishers. Notables that were out. Adam Newman, engine problems, as you're going to see. Quite a few. Ryan Wilcox, great entry list, but man, the Sno Drift Rally taking its toll on these competitors. That 2015 Subaru of David Higgins absolutely dialed for its first race out. I don't think you could ask for much more if you were David Higgins. But right now we're going to cut to some podium interviews and podium conversation I had there at the Sno Drift Rally.
All right, we are here live from the finish line of the 2015 Rally America Sno Drift Rally. It's been one heck of a rally thus far, and man, the finishers just starting to come in here at Sno Drift, and looking forward to catching up with some of them. The official winner of the event ended up being David Higgins, followed in second place by Nick Roberts, third by Lachlan O'Sullivan. So a couple SP cars making the podium. David Higgins walking away with yet another win in that brand new 2015 Subaru. Not another win, his very first win in this Subaru, but continuing on his winning ways from 2014. So walking around here, we're going to see if we can catch up with some of these drivers as they roll in, see if we can get Mr. David Higgins, the man of the hour, on air for an interview. But definitely a solid rally. Conditions absolutely just going down into the gutter the second half of the rally. Icy cold conditions and snow starting to drop down, and we know there's a big storm coming in, and I think another day, if this rally would have been run one day later, it definitely would have been disastrous conditions. So lucky we got this rally finished up today, but yeah, snow starting to come down, temperatures continuing to drop, a little breeze coming in, but definitely a great finish to an amazing rally. Once again, David Higgins coming away with that win, Nick Roberts finishing up in second, and third place going out to Lachlan O'Sullivan. So see if we can catch up with some of these drivers here in just a second. Making my way around here. Lots of crowds. People starting to crowd in. Going to have a little podium celebration going on here shortly. See if we can track down Mr. David Higgins. Yeah. All right, there he is. All right, people telling me where to find Mr. David at. He's doing another interview. We'll wait in line. How's everything going, David?
Yeah, really happy, to be honest. To get the first win of the season is awesome, and obviously to debut the new 2015 Subaru has been absolutely great, and all credit to our guys back at base in Vermont. They do build an absolute fantastic car, and when you had that really long stage just before the end of the event, you can never really relax, and you're always expecting teething troubles or something to happen, but the car was absolutely perfect all weekend, and can't fault it. Just get the points in the bag now, look forward to 100 Acre, and hopefully Ken might come out and play and give us a good race.
Yeah. Well, it's got to have you optimistic for the rest of the season. I mean, anytime you're debuting a new car, there's a little bit of an unknown, no matter how much testing you do. But to come right out of the box in this car and have such a dominating effort, got to get you excited for the rest of the year, as you get to do a little more development work just to see it get faster. Yeah, exactly. It's if you have problems on the event, you can then start getting quite defensive, and you start trying to look for faults. But we've come off this rally with the car's been absolutely perfect in testing. It's been perfect on the rally. So now we can sort of put a little bit more effort into trying some new things, and our team is one of the best at never standing still. They're always looking for new ideas and new developments, and I'm sure there'll be some new things for 100 Acre. Yeah, well, any surprises pop up in this second half of today? I know the longest stage of the rally, one of the longest of the year. You also had the stage with all the bonfires. Anything surprising happen, or pretty much smooth sailing? No, it was all pretty good. The only thing that was quite surprising on the start of the last stage in Bonfire Rally, there was an old couple walking with walking sticks just down towards where one of the fires were, so we had to give them a little bit of space and clear past them, but otherwise it's been perfect. And the fans on this rally make this rally so special. They're so enthusiastic and so keen to be out there in this weather, and when you go through and all the bonfires going, it really is a good buzz, and we had no need to push in the last stage at all, but you just can't help going hard to put on a show for those guys that have been sat out there freezing all weekend. Yeah, and I know, being at the Super Special, I think rumor is there's about 3,000 people there, and the conditions were just absolutely horrible at that gravel pit, and definitely a hardcore rally following up here in Michigan. Yeah, definitely. And the same, when we go up to Lake Superior Rally as well, it's the same thing as well. You can get brutal weather up there, but, they like it, and it's great that we can come here, put on a good show for them. And it's not the nicest place we sat at that gravel pit, but there's a lot of people there, and they're all enjoying it, so it's good to be able to put on a show for them. All right. Well, thank you, David. Congratulations on the victory, and we'll see you at 100 Acre Wood.
Can't wait. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, David. All right. That was David Higgins, your 2015 Rally America Sno Drift Rally champion, walking away with yet another win for Subaru Rally Team USA. I got to tell you, this car looking absolutely beautiful as we walk around it, looking just like it came to the rally. I mean, not a dent, not a scratch on it, not much mud. I mean, they definitely laid it down here this evening and kept it clean and solid effort. Got to see if we can walk over here and catch up with second place finisher overall and your winner in Super Production, Nick Roberts. Give him just a second. Looks like he's doing a little talking. But, crowds starting to pack in here. Moving locations. I believe we're in Hillman, Michigan now. It's a great thing about this rally. We're talking about the economic impact to the area. This rally definitely bringing a lot to these small communities and, really helping keep them afloat during these tough winter months. So, good thing we have motorsports events like this that cater towards maybe some of these smaller communities. And, big shout out to Rally America for that. And, all they do here, Sno Drift Rally and all the local entities. I mean, big undertaking to get all these roads shut down and put on this event. And being here firsthand, I got to tell you, some passionate fans. Walking over here, we'll kind of skip over some cords and cabling, see if we can get to the two-wheel drive, or not two-wheel drive, Super Production winner Nick Roberts. How's everything going, Nick?
It's going really good. I'm really happy. I think I'm happy to be sitting here. You can see my nice door ding. We worked hard to get here. The whole team's worked really hard. I'm really happy with everything. Rhiannon's did an incredible job today. I mean, we just are working really good together as a team, and that's what it's all about. We worked hard the last few stages just to keep it on the road. I made a little mistake on the last stage and almost probably cost us the event. But all in all, I'm good. I'm happy. We're here. The last 2 years we've finished third in SP, so I wanted to come here and break that streak, and here we are, second overall and first in SP. So
yeah, it's got to get you pretty excited for the rest of the season just to have such a solid effort out of the box. I know, yesterday fighting a few tire problems, but all in all, the car ran great. Looking forward to that debut of the new car at 100 Acre Wood.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we pushed hard with this car. I mean, it's obviously a really competitive car, so I'm excited to see with what the modifications we're going to do to get a little weight out of it and a few other things we can maybe sneak a little bit more power out of it just to try to gain just that little bit more edge to just kind of further that gap and maybe try to catch Yeoman.
All right, so I got to tell you, it's a true race car now. The doors don't open, right?
That's right. At least on my side, I get to kind of like go Dukes of Hazzard style and crawl out the window.
So what's the story behind the door? I have to ask you because we're looking at this beautiful Subaru, with this iconic wrap you've got, and the door, the driver's side door, absolutely caved in.
Yeah, luckily it's just the door, so I could just swap the door out. We're good. But no, we're at last stage of the night. We're just kind of taking it easy, and I don't know. It's a little bit different when you're not driving 9/10 or 8/10, and the car just got sideways on me, and there was this log laying sideways on top of a snowbank, and I don't know if I target fixated on it or what, but just I'm watching it, and bam, and I hit it and kept moving like it just felt like any other snowbank. I mean, other than a bigger hit. I assumed we hit it further back in the car. I didn't realize we hit my door and pushed my door card in and everything. So luckily, all the all the stuff on the inside of the car is there to protect me. Otherwise, I probably would have had a log in my.
Well, I got to tell you, Rhiannon's probably smiling because every driver in the world, their co-drivers, seems like they take the shots on the co-driver side of the car. I think you're the first driver that I know of to take a shot to the driver's side. Most of us aim it up for the co-driver side for some reason.
That's kind of the joke we make on the team because yesterday all the flats were on my side. Usually the bent control arms are on my side. Bent door on my side. It's usually typically on my side.
There's a little interesting knowledge there with Nick Roberts. So congratulations on this win. Looking forward to seeing you and that new car at 100 Acre Wood next month.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it as well.
All right. That was Nick. All right, that was a little, I guess, behind the scenes there from the podiums at Rally America Sno Drift Rally this past weekend. Had the opportunity to go up there, travel to Rally America, as we will be doing for all their events this year, and just a few of the top interviews. You can definitely go, and we've got James Robinson, Lachlan O'Sullivan, and just about every driver in the field over the course of 2 days. Interviews with them, so you can go back RallyAmericaRadio.com, catch all those interviews, and
definitely check it out. Lots and lots of you tuning in over the weekend, lots of feedback. So thank you for those of you that tuned in. I know we're trying to do something a little different this year with Rally America, and I'm going to definitely do some more live, some more commentary from Super Specials. But we love your feedback. We want to know what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. Let us know at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, and looking forward to your feedback. And we're looking forward to giving back to the fans with this and giving you some of the content you want to hear. So let us know what you want to hear on Rally America Radio, and we'll see if we can change it up and fit some more into our shows. But that was Nick Roberts and David Higgins, two of your winners, Super Production and Open Class winners, over the weekend at Rally America Sno Drift Rally. A couple of interesting notes before we close out this Dirtfish Rally report, but World Rally Championship, Toyota finally making the announcement they are returning in 2017 with a Toyota Yaris, so it gives them a couple of years to do some development work. It seems like they've already got a team of drivers lined up to do that development work, and looking forward to that debut of Toyota in 2017 with a Yaris. Also, Citroen saying they are keeping the door open for a return of Sebastian Loeb. What that means, I don't know, but definitely anytime Sebastian Loeb's name is thrown around, it piques my ears as it does yours. One of the top drivers in the world in just about anything. So looking forward to hearing hearing a little more of this. But Citroen formally announcing the door has been left open for a return of Sebastian Loeb. So, always looking forward to that. But we are going to take a short break real quick, and when we come back, my good friend Jim Riley, he is just stepping into the dungeon here, so we're going to get to him in just a second. Thanks for staying tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mart Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mart can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at jmarbrakes. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Jim Beaver, and Jim Riley just stepping into the house here. How's everything going, Jim?
Good, man. I'm loving your intro music there.
Yeah. It's definitely got all kinds of intro music going on and some great partners coming on board. And I know you and I both lucky enough we share a lot. General Tire out here doing some 100th anniversary shoots, also KMC Wheels, some Rigid Industries. But I was telling everybody, I said shoots the past couple of days with General Tire. I know you were out this morning doing some more, but pretty cool locations, a little bit different than what we've done in the past.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Desert Bar. People have talked about it for years. My family's been out there, and to actually experience it and then take the race car out there and get some good photos. It was a good spot. Good job. I hear you had a role in that, and I'm sure everybody will be happy when the photos come out. So it's been a lot of work, though.
Yeah. It's kind of a remote location, so to get everything out there. I know at first they're like, oh, we want to take the semi out there. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen, man.
Yeah, trailing race cars and all that other stuff, not a good thing.
So, talking about that, kicking off 2015, obviously Azunia back involved for yet another year, obviously with your race program, but you guys so much more than that, involved with Best in the Desert, the Mid 400. I mean, you guys have definitely been a staple in desert racing for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've built a big family of followers out here, and the support has been unbelievable, from a customer standpoint with Azunia. I constantly have people walking up to me telling me, hey, I saw your product over here, this bar, I just love it, or they're posting up pictures. So, we always talk about the loyalty of Off-Road Nation, and it's true, and it continues to exist. So we want to do our part and come back and support the activities that are happening out here. Casey placed that annual call, are you coming back? And I said, of course we're coming back. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, looking forward to 2015. I know new livery on the truck, changing things up a bit. I got to tell you, looking pretty sharp there.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it's General's 100th anniversary, which I'm sure you've been talking about, and we're excited about it. And they've been great partners to us, and we wanted to do all we could to promote that anniversary. And it's a complete opposite, going from nice blue and grays and blacks to red and black and gray. So we're excited about it. Tim Cecil over at Sign Pros just did a killer job kind of finalizing the design and applying it to the truck. So it's been exciting to bring it out here and start posting up some pictures.
Yeah, definitely a clean, classy look. It's not over exuberant or anything. I mean, it's got clean lines and, it gives a classy feel to the truck for sure.
Yeah, it's very much a race car now.
So, talking about 2015, I know you started out, you were kind of, I don't want to say the founder of 6100, but you were definitely, the first guy, running in there. And there for a while, definitely, low entries. And it seems like the past year or two, that class is just blown up.
Yeah, when Greg Feltz came to me, I don't know, it's been over 3 years ago now, and said, hey, we want to do the 6100 class. And you'd be the first guy out there. I thought, it sounds exciting going from a 4-cylinder to an 8 in the Trophy Light. And, we were the first guy out there, raced against ourselves 3 or 4 times. And then, thanks to Jerry Zayden with the Camber guys, and they came on board. So the two of us battled for a couple races, and then it just grew from there. So to see the entries and the excitement and the banter going on, Race Desert and all the other, channels out there, Facebook and Twitter and the smack talk, and, it's come a long ways, and it's exciting to see all these guys with great vehicles out there.
Yeah, for sure. And, in that class, I know you guys got I think this is the first time ever, or maybe October race, but you guys are actually qualifying here at Parker.
This is the first time ever, and talking to Casey about it, he said, you guys are finishing further up the pack, and we really think it's necessary to qualify. You've got a lot of vehicles. I think we've got over 40 motors tagged right now for the class, and we've got over 20 entries for this race. I imagine we'll see a couple more before the week's up, applying, and then I can't imagine what the Mint's going to be like.
Yeah, I think it's just crazy. That class, I mean, it's just every race, it's like new trucks coming out, and we're not talking converted trucks. I mean, purpose-built, rigs for this class, and it's just crazy. I don't think anybody envisioned the class. I knew it was going to grow, but I didn't think it'd be this crazy, and as fast as you guys are going. I mean, a lot of times you're beating some of the, the trophy trucks in a lot of the races.
Yeah, typically one of us will finish top 10 overall in these races, so that says a lot to the truck and their ability. And yeah, the builders, everybody's got a waiting list now, from Geyser to Mason to Brenthal. You know, these guys just can't build them fast enough. I know Greg Fouts is back in the shop building a couple 6100s, so it's good for their business. It's good for the sport, you know, and to give people another fast option is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that, I know obviously involved in 6100, you going back to the NOR 1000, because I know that's definitely one that you always look forward to every year too.
You know what? I was just talking to Lee Banning this morning, asking him if he was going to come down. You know, he's a general guy, and he's like, I need 45 days in a month to pull that race off. But yeah, we're going to come down. We're going to do something special with the Rip and Rooster 57 Chevy. That's been the vintage class sedan winner the last 2 years, so we'll bring it back and make a big showing down there.
All right, very cool. And, you know, as far as Azunia goes, I know, you know, talking with you yesterday, you guys continue to grow, you know, and bringing out new product and new markets. And I know just announcing a deal with the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, it's been killer. Yesterday I put the announcement out. We are the official tequila of the San Diego Padres for the next 2 years. It's exciting because the All-Star Game's coming there in 2016. And just the influence that stadium has over the Gaslamp District and all those bars and restaurants down there are exciting. And we've also garnered some great new partners like Tilted Kilt. You know, they're in this sport. Yeah. They're starting to support us. They've seen our race car out there, and we're going to do some showings with the car at their venues out in California. So they've been a part of Corey Weller's program for a long time, and we're excited to have Tilted Kilt on board with some of our activities too.
Yeah, definitely a solid partner to have. I know across Arizona and you know, Southern California, they've got you know, all over the place, you know, and big supporters of short course and some desert racing. So that's always cool. You know, talking about, you know, the company, I got to tell you, you know, I watched, you know, kind of some of that stuff you worked on with the Martellis and stuff when you took them down there and talking with Matt. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize what goes into tequila. You know, I think a lot of people, they love it, but I think, you know, they understand it comes from agave and stuff, but I don't think they really realize what goes into making. I think there's some factory somewhere that just pumps this stuff out, you know, and seeing that, it really put it into perspective to me, you know, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's very much like a winery. And to your point, there probably is some factories out there pumping out some stuff that we're not so, you know, big fans of. But what we do is very artisanal. It's handcrafted. It's small batch, and a lot of work, love, and attention goes into it. We've got a master distiller that makes our product. He's been doing it for over 20 years. And we've got our own land and fields that help supply the agaves for our distillery down there. So, yeah, there's a lot to it. Matt really had a good time and discovered what it was all about. He was taking pictures of the dirt and the rocks and the water. You know, the list goes on. So he can't say enough about it.
Yeah, well, and talking about you, I know obviously, you know, a while back getting married. Now you got a little one. So, you know, how's life changed for Jim Riley?
You know, it was pretty cool last night. She has her little Tonka truck, and she goes around the living room going, boom, 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 you know, and she's just over one, and it's exciting. You know, we don't want to let the kids slow us down, and I think she really enjoys being out. You know, she's very social. And, you know, it's how we build this off-road nation, right? One baby at a time.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, my daughter was out at the photo shoot yesterday hanging out, you know, yesterday evening, and she loves it, you know, being a part of the dirt. And she's got a little motorcycle, and she cruises around. And, you know, she's telling me the other day, Daddy, I want to be a race car driver, you know. I'm like, oh, here we go. Trying to find a trophy cart, you know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the problem is most of the time you get kids in there, they're faster than the dads are, so your focus ends up being on them, right?
Yeah, I'm going to retire the year before she gets old enough.
Exactly, you know. So, yeah, good catching up with you. I mean, what's on tap for 2015? Any big news dropping that we need to know about?
Yeah, you know what? This year's all about General Tire and our sponsors doing a good job for them. We worked through the Ford Motor Program last year. We're really excited about what Ford's doing out there. Hell, we're sitting in Ford right now. So, you know, it's just it's a neat program, and we're excited to showcase that motor that we're running. And we just want to put on a good showing. You know, I'm really excited about the Mint 400. This is a great race out here in Parker. It always beats me up pretty good, but looking forward to the Mint and what's happening out there. Different place for a starting line. Saw that Golden Nugget was on again for the home property. I mean, the Martelli brothers just really have some great stuff going over there. So I hope to see a lot of people out there, a lot of entries, and getting involved.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, speaking of the Mint 400, that's huge. I know upcoming here, 2 weeks after Parker, we've got the UTV World Championship, and, you know, Best in the Desert and Martelli's working on that together, and I'm sure that's going to be an amazing event. And I've heard of some possible secret events maybe Best in the Desert has working too. So yeah,
I keep trying to get that out of Casey, and he's not going to tell anybody. Yeah. And by the way, if you are going to go up to that UTV event, you know, Laughlin's done a great job up there trying to host people. They've got a Golden Nugget up there. We should try to patronize them. Bikinis Bar. They've been supporting the sport. We've had the race cars over there. So if you make it up there, man, support the people that are taking care of us out there.
Yeah. So, looking at 2015, what's the events you're looking forward to the most? I mean, what are the ones you as a driver excel at? I know you love the mid. I know, but you pick one course out of the 6 and Best of the Desert. What's the one event you look forward to as a driver?
Yeah, well, if anybody's followed along, we didn't excel at anything last year, but I've had a great Vegas to Reno a few times, and I love the endurance side of that race. It's long, it's hard. Puts you into the nights, the heat, all the different changes up there. So I always look forward to that race. I think I do well at it. I've got a lot of stamina for those long races, and I've been in that car for a long time. We had the opportunity to do well in this truck, but we've also won it in our Trophy Light back when I was driving that. So I do look forward to that race every year.
Yeah, and I know last year you tried to pull the solo, right? That going to happen again this year? You think you maybe split driving a little bit?
No, we'll split driving. It's always, I think, smarter to split the driving. It's a long day. It's a lot of pressure. And, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Just you start to fade towards the end of the day, and I don't have anything to prove. We've got a guy out of Texas. His name's Bobby Gibliant. He's been training with us over the summer and into this season. So we'll see how he does. We'll test him out there. And this will be his first race with us. He'll put a few miles in out here and open up the door a little bit more for him.
Very cool. Well, looking forward to that. And, I know you and I both going to do some signings with some kids at the youth center later on today and, kick things off tomorrow, qualifying, then continues today. And, man, I think we're going to be running for the next 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah, my easy work turned into a hard week. So here we are.
Yeah, well, it's always good. I know Azunia growing in the local area here, and it seems like more and more, bars and restaurants picking it up. And it seems like every time I go in one, I'm always looking to see if they've got Azunia bottles up there, on the back wall. And lucky to have you involved in the off-road community, and thanks for everything you do to give back.
Well, I appreciate that. Asking for it helps out a lot because the name gets out there. So anything you do is much appreciated. We love coming into town and being on the show and getting ready for a race.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. And, we'll see you later today. And good luck in qualifying tomorrow, my friend.
Sounds good. First time.
Yeah. Anybody that wants to catch up with Jim Riley, he'll definitely be downtown experience. The truck will be on display tomorrow. Be at the local Parker area youth center. So anybody traveling into town, signing autographs there and catch up with him in contingency as well.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Jim. All right, that was Jim Riley with Azunia Tequila. We're going to take one more short, quick break, and Ami Houde's going to be calling in. We're going to talk some Supercross. Thanks for staying tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by Dirtfish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire.
Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just got done with Jim Riley, Azunia Jim. He stopping by the office, getting done, finishing up with a little bit of General Tire photo shoots. But it's been a great day. Racers starting to roll in here to Parker, Arizona. It's kind of cool. I get to air live from my hometown with a race. A couple times a year. This is definitely one of them. So a lot of Parker and desert racing talk. But right now, King of the Hammer is going on as we speak, and lots of action happening over there at King of the Hammers. See if we can pull up some quick info. We had qualifying at King of the Hammers so far, day one qualifying, and right now it looks like Eric Miller, he is your top qualifier or qualifying results. We got Corey Kuchta in second, Andrew McLaughlin third. We got Casey Curry fourth, Bill Baird rounding out your top five. Other notables down there, we got TJ Flores in 19th position. So solid showing there for TJ Flores, making his way into the top 20. Just looking down a little bit farther, seeing if any other names stick out at us. But right now, Ultra4Racing.com, they've got full coverage all week and weekend long of the race, so you can always catch up with a live stream there. Also, King of the Motos, we had that going on this past weekend, and brutal motorcycle race. Colton Haker, he took the win. Corey Graff under second, Max Gersten in third. Top amateur Kevin Murphy taking home that win, and top women's finisher Morgan Tonke. A lot of you know that name from Endurocross. She took the win for the ladies. So great King of the Motos, and absolutely the most brutal motorcycle race on earth. That's for sure. We also had the Vision X basically the East versus West shootout. Not going to go through all these names with you, but winner there was Bobby Tanner, AJ Rockwell in second, Bill Baird taking home third, and your West of the Miss winner was Ryan Bromhall. So lots of winners there in Ultra 4. The big show though is the King of the Hammers, and that going down later this week. So Ultra4Racing.com, that's going to be your home. That and Race-Desert.com. We also had King of the UTVs going on today. I don't have results from that yet, but lots of stuff happening out there in Johnson Valley. So you off-road dirt heads, between the Parker 425, one of the biggest desert race of the year, and the biggest I don't even want to call it rock racing event of the year, but lots of stuff happening in the world of dirt this week. So looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. I mean, seems like the usual suspects always out front at King of the Hammers, but TJ Flores looks like he's holding it down for looks like he's holding it down for us desert racers. So we'll have to see see how things shake out. Also, other notable is Rob McCachran. We're gonna have to catch up with him and see how well he's doing, and seeing if that can that desert racing and short course knowledge translates into some wins there at Hammertown. So also racing action over the weekend. We had Amsoil ISOC the championship there, and rounds 7 and 8 of that series from Deadwood, and looks like your winner Cody Cam taking home the win, sneaking one out from Tucker Hibbert, who finished second, Ross Martin in third, and then moving to round 8. It was Tucker Hibbert finding the podium again, Ross Martin in second, Kyle Pauline finishing up in third. Looking at Pro Light from the event. Let's see here. It looks like Elias Ishuel taking home the win. Tyler Adams second. Maxime Telefer in third. And your second round of the Pro Lights there from Deadwood, Ryan Springer, Tyler Adams, and Andrew Carlston in the 1, 2, 3. So skipping over to our current point standings for Snowcross. Maybe we'll get to the point standings here for Snowcross, but yeah, sorry about that. National Pro Open, your current points leader, Tucker Hibbert, out front through 8 races, 338 points. Kyle Pleen in second, Tim Trembley in third. Looking at our Pro Light current point standings, and it is... Let's see here. It is Trevor Layton out front through 8 races. Elias Ishuel in second by only 8 points back, and Andrew Carlston in third with 264 points, 19 points back. So shootout there in Pro Light. Tucker Hibbert commanding lead in the Pro Open division. So yeah, lots of great racing action this weekend, man. Just trying to catch up with everything and fitting it all into this show. And I got to tell you, man, it's not an easy task today. But we are going to get to here in just a second to some Supercross coverage with our good friend Ami Houde. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to dissect Supercross. Those of you that are in our KMC Wheels and MotorcycleSuperstore.com fantasy Supercross, you still got I believe another week to get in before you're pretty much out. Remember, we've got 6 throwaway races in this deal, but 312 of you so far have got in on the action. So yeah, lots of good stuff. We're giving away, and thanks to all of you who have joined up and are playing each and every week. I got to tell you, I started out strong, and I've dropped back to 69th out of 312. So things not looking so good for me as they were to start out. I think it was top 10 to begin with. So definitely dropping a bit. A lot of strategy going into this, and I'm still kind of getting a feel for things. But yeah, definitely fun, man. Hopefully all of you guys are in there. We're giving away a set of KMC wheels at the end of this thing. Lots of good prizes, that and MotorcycleSuperstore.com gift cards each and every week that we are giving away. But we're going to skip over to Ami Houde right now. How's everything going, Amy?
Hello. How's it going?
Things are going good now that I am back in some warm weather. I know you were calling me a wuss over the weekend. It was negative 15 in wind, and you're like, that's nothing. But I tell you what, it's cold for me.
Well, yeah, I would call that a wuss because it's freezing here.
So what's the over under today? What's the weather at? What's the weather out there in Winnipeg?
Actually, let me check because it's so freaking cold. Today's actually one of the colder days. It says it's okay. So Fahrenheit for my American friends, it's minus 15, but it's minus 23. Which is also minus 30 with the wind chill. So It's frigid today. But it's actually kind of funny because we don't have any snow. I feel really bad for all the snowmobilers and stuff because there is not a drop of snow. I'm in a parking lot right now, and I can actually see all the lines and the handicap parking signs. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been parking in handicap all this winter.
That's kind of...
signs.
Yeah, that's kind of a tease, man. I mean, they force you guys to have all this cold, but you don't get the snow to have fun in. I mean, that's totally a buzzkill there. I mean, you get all the disastrous weather without any of the fun of the snow.
I know. Well, what's the point of having all this winter with no snow? Like, I would take 10 feet of snow over minus 30 any day, but at the same time, it's nice because when you get all that snow, it actually pushes our off season a lot farther because it takes so long for it to all melt, and then the tracks are really, really wet. So, no snow means sooner to ride motocross, so I can't really complain too much, I guess. It's devil's advocate. What can I say?
Yeah, well, and you are getting ready to hop on a plane heading to the warm state of California, right?
Oh, thank goodness. Yes, I am heading to San Diego tomorrow for the San Diego Supercross. I cannot wait. I just got to get out of here. It's too cold.
Yeah. Well, talking about Supercross, first we're going to kick things off with a little 250 action from Anaheim, the third Anaheim race this last weekend. But Cooper Webb taking home that win. I can't remember. I think you called that. I was a little pessimistic on Cooper, so I can't really take credit for this one. But I think you hit the nail on the head. He took the win. Jesse Nelson and Plessinger in second and third. So solid showings for them.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really awesome racing. Like, they're all rookies, so it's really nice to see these guys who weren't really up on top of the podium last year, making the way through the pack and just being really, really dominant all year. And it really shows that these guys have what it takes. And it's awesome to see Plessinger in third. We've been talking about him every weekend, but he's getting stronger, he's getting faster and more consistent, and I think this is a huge boost to his confidence. And, I wouldn't doubt if he's going to be battling his teammate Cooper Webb shortly at the end of the year this year. So, it was good racing for him.
Yeah, some notables though. Bowers in 15th. We got Malcolm Stewart down in 17th. I think Stewart. I think everybody expected that to be the turning point, that win, and definitely seeing him down at the bottom. Definitely a bummer.
Well, this weekend was a huge turning point in terms of points. That red flag really shook everything up. It was a win for Cooper, and honestly a loss for almost every other rider out there other than Zach Osborne, who, luckily finished fourth because of the red flag. But, calling that 6 laps in was a huge, a huge shocker. I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And right away I instantly thought that somebody had crashed really bad. So luckily, that was not the case. But, that red flag really shook up points, because now with Bowers' 15th-place finish overall, he's 27 points behind Cooper. I think he was only like 5 or 9 coming into this race, but now he's 27. So if Cooper stays consistent, he's kind of running away with the championship here. So, and Malcolm Stewart, he's not in the running for the championship anymore right now, unless something serious happens to Cooper. But I don't know. I think this race was really a game changer.
Yeah, Cooper definitely stepping out there with a commanding lead. Jesse Nelson, jumping into that second spot, but still, Cooper, just if he stays consistent, looks like we got 4 rounds left, because we're talking West here. It's definitely his to lose at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So right now it's all about survival of the fitness, and people got to start riding smart. You can't be taking any chances right now, because points are so crucial, and salvaging as many as you can. And Cooper, the same thing can happen to him next weekend, where he crashes or has a bad start, and unfortunately might finish below the top 10, and maybe Bowers can bounce back, where we do see that kind of chase to the finish these last couple of races. But right now, he has a comfortable lead. He's comfortable. He can now start riding smart and not, almost kind of radical like he's been riding. So hopefully he just plays that smart part now and just cruises to the finish. So I would like to see him win. It'd be great, and great for the Star Yamaha team. So, I guess we'll have to see what happens these next couple of rounds here. But it's coming close to an end for the West Coast 250s.
Yeah. Well, and skipping over to talking a little 450 action, I give myself credit this week, because I called it. Ryan Dungey stepping up and taking it home. Yeah.
I guess you can take it.
Yeah, led 19 laps too. I mean, solid effort for him. Baggett getting the whole shot. Dungey stealing it from him after a lap, and just putting on a clinic.
Yeah, they call Dungey the Diesel, because it takes him a little bit, but as soon as he gets on a roll, he's almost unstoppable. So this might be a turning point for him as well. I do think that Ken was riding, in his comfort zone, a little timid maybe even this weekend. I know that he wasn't feeling really good, and he was still maybe shaken up from that crash last weekend. So I do think that Ken will come back a little bit stronger now, but it's better that he play it safe with the 4th place finish. But I don't think we've seen the end of Ken Roczen on the top of the podium, that's for sure.
Oh, no, I definitely think a lot of racing left, and Roczen, he's definitely got some more wins to take, that's for sure. Looking at, how the 450 points are shaking up, though, Dungey right now, I'm pulling up the wrong screen here. Let me get back here.
He's 11 points ahead now.
Yeah, you're going to have to wing it, because I don't have the right screens up, I guess. I'm all messed up here. But, I know Dungey, Mr. Consistent, he's up top, right?
Yeah, 11 points ahead of Roczen now after this weekend. So, again, he's getting a little bit more comfortable, a little bit of flex wiggle room there. So, Roczen has to be consistent. He has to be right behind him every race or in front of him. He can't be, a 4th place rider, gapping that points difference. So, 11 points is a lot. But we do have to keep in mind that in the 450s, we're only almost halfway in. Like, it's a long season still. And the beginning, usually a lot of people come charging out really hard and strong in the beginning, and we start to see a little bit of a plateau come the middle. And again, I think the end is just where we start to see real racing. So we have a lot of movement to go, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and Supercross is just such a grueling season, week after week after week. And, these guys staying healthy and, we're seeing guys injure themselves in practice, not even at the event. I mean, in midweek practice sessions and stuff like that. I mean, it's just such a physically demanding sport.
Yeah, well, you see Ken Roxon's crash last weekend. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, all right, I'm taking a month off. Like, see you later. But he just has to say, oh, no, we're only 4 rounds in. Okay, let's just keep going. Walk it off. Put an ice pack on. It's gnarly. This is a super, super gnarly sport. And, we talked about it before, but they only have 2-3 weeks off before outdoors. Like, it's crazy what these athletes go through, to be competitive and, to make a living and, do what all of us think is, the lifestyle and living the lifestyle and living the dream. But it's extremely hard work, and these are, top of the line athletes, and they endure so much. And they're, motocross is one of the most physically demanding sports in the world. And if you watched last weekend, Ken Roxon's crash and finishing fourth this weekend, it just proves that these guys are some of the world's toughest athletes out there for sure.
Yeah, well, and as well as anybody, having raced for so many years that it's just, it's definitely tough to crack. I know, you look at guys, 20, 25 years ago and look at now, and the fitness level is just insane of these riders now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of gauge everything with my dad. He's been racing for 40 years, and he's 50, well, even more, I guess, now. He's 57, and he still races, and he plans to go over and race the World Championships again. But, he has that mentality of just don't slow down. He's 57, and he still races competitively and against guys a third his age. But, motocross builds tough people, and he knows as soon as he starts to slow down, everything will start to seize up. So he just keeps going, but, pays a big toll on your body. Everything of him hurts. He just doesn't admit it, but you can tell, he's broken enough bones in his body that I don't even know how he moves every day. So, these guys have to stay fit during the week, and they have extreme workout routines and regimes. So they're able to endure. So I couldn't imagine. Geez, I just try to keep up, in the off season so that I don't die my first race of the year. I couldn't imagine what they got to go through.
Yeah, for sure. So, looking at San Diego, what are some of your predictions? What are we looking for there? I know you're going to be there on the floor and seeing things shake out. But what do you think we should look forward to in San Diego?
Well, San Diego, it is a new facility. So it used to be at a different arena, but now it's downtown. So, usually a new venue, totally different track layout. I know the tracks are different every year, everywhere you go, but a new venue, it's a little bit more exciting. It's something different, hopefully shake things up a bit. But, I do think Dungey is on a roll. I'll give it to him. I am a Ken Roxon fan for life. But I do think now Dungey has, put that locomotive into gear, and he's, dead set on finishing on the top. And I would give it to him next week, and I do think that he has it in him now. And I've been seeing a new rider now. Every weekend, he's so much more aggressive and consistent. So, and I like that. I like that Dungey. It's good to see. Usually we always kind of are hard on him, telling him that he's a little soft and, reserved. But I think that he has it in him next weekend. 250s? I don't know. It sucks because I want to vote for the same people every weekend. Yeah. But I know that's a bit of a bias. But I do think that Cooper is the most consistent guy out there. He is the strongest and the fastest. I would like to see Justin Hill, pull it together. He's been plagued with some bad starts, and, he hasn't had luck on his side. So hopefully that, he has a horseshoe somewhere on him for the next couple weekends. I would like to see Justin Hill pull through and, maybe finish on the top of the podium next weekend. So I guess we'll see, but I think the action will be in the 250s again. Last weekend it was pretty crazy, so I think a lot of people have, again, some of those revenge motos, Malcolm and Bauer, so it'll be interesting, definitely. I love the revenge motos. I know when there's a group of guys who have a bad race that the weekend next is going to be crazy to see, so they're all out for a vengeance, so should be good. Should be interesting. And make sure you guys stay tuned because I will be filming Motorcycle Superstore Pit Adventure. I'll be also shadowing the Teddy Park Privateer Journey team, get a little bit more in depth about them and what they do for the privateers, which will be really, really cool. So stay tuned.
All right, and for those of you playing in the 2015 Fantasy Supercross League, we still got 1 week left. You got 1 week left to get in. After San Diego, it starts penalizing you. Right now, we're still in throwaway races. But, right now we got Debert 520. He's out front. We got Orvis in second overall.
Oh, yeah.
He's making a move there to the top. I guess he's wants some new wheels. And Dickie Deal in third. So, and Motorcycle Superstore, I got to get with you. We got to start getting some of these gift cards sent out, I guess, but giving away some gift cards for you weekly winners. So last week's weekly winner, L.A. Rocket, won with 719 points. So, I need to start getting a hold of some of these winners. And as always, Amy, they shoot us their picks. We like hearing from the fans.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys happen to be at San Diego and run into me, please stop by and say hi. Let's take a photo. We'll do a shout out to Jim and the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Motorcycle Superstore, and it will be awesome. I love meeting people. I love meeting new people because you do so much traveling. It's nice to meet up again later down the road and be like, oh, hey, I remember you. So make sure you stop by and say hi.
Yeah, for sure. And how long are you in San Diego? Are you going to get to do anything fun? Well, obviously Supercross is fun. We, rough life, right? You get to go to the races, but no, anything other than that, or are you flying right out on Sunday?
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow because I tried to fly in a bit early to get some, fun in the sun. But I'm trying to maybe head out to Pala on Friday to ride. But I do have some business meetings and have to kind of touch base with some people. But I'll be hanging out in Pacific Beach with some friends and just having, enjoying my time down there before I have to come back to the cold. So, but yeah, I'll be probably, lurking around Supercross on Friday evening and checking out the rigs and talking to all the crew. I love the crew. Everybody kind of under the tent and behind the scenes. Like, they're a really good group of people. So I always like to go and chat it up with them too. So.
Awesome. Well, I got to tell you, some great local bars down there in Pacific Beach, right close to the water, and those are always fun to hit up. And it's kind of cool to get the local vibe.
Yeah, it's real. I love Pacific Beach. It's you get a barbershop, a bar, and a tattoo parlor all down the road, just one after another. So it's pretty cool. It's a little beach scene, and get a beach cruiser or longboard, and just have a good old time. So I'm hopefully meeting up with a bunch of other motocross chicks. And we're also going to try to film another Moto Chick adventure on the side, too. So, it's lots of fun.
All right. Well,
when are you going to come out to a Supercross, Jim?
I would definitely, one of these West Coast ones, I would love to come out. Problem is, I've got my kickoff race for this year happening this weekend. So, I'm racing the trophy truck this weekend, but I need to make it out to one of them. I just need to schedule. I know I'm hopefully Vegas for sure. I'll shoot for that because I know, my friends over at Whole Shot Radio, they keep telling me, hey, we need to get you out to one of these, and I know you're out at some, so hopefully we'll shoot for Vegas at least, but I need to make it out to one. It's just things are crazy in my schedule.
Vegas, you better, and I actually really would love to come and check out some trophy truck racing and be your cheerleader or whatnot, but Vegas is probably one of the coolest rounds, and I will be there, so if you happen to go, we'll have some fun.
Yep, absolutely. I'll mark it in my schedule and we'll shoot for Vegas. How about that?
That sounds awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Amy, and we'll definitely talk soon, and we'll catch up with you next week and talk some more Supercross.
Sounds good to me. You guys have a good day and a good weekend.
All right. Thanks, Amy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ami Houde, resident Supercross expert, and as always, give her a follow on her social media, Ami Houde 71. Definitely keep tabs on her, and be on the lookout when she drops some new some new videos each and every week. Always good catching up with her. Talking a little, moving forward though, trying to pack as much into this 2 hours as we can today. Polaris Razor Edge UTV news. Polaris brought to you by our good friends at Polaris. Man, they're knocking it out of the park with some sponsorships lately. Obviously, we got King of the UTVs this weekend. World Championships coming up in 2 weeks. We had the Parker 250 before, but right now, King of the Hammer UTVs going on. UTVunderground.com. You definitely want to go over there, catch all the information, or catch the live stream of the race. Maybe over by now, but I know they had a great event going down earlier. And then also UTV World Championships dropping all kinds of information. Sponsors coming in left and right. I got to tell you, it's I got to tell you, man, it's definitely it's definitely going to be one of those epic events. Definitely going to be a huge one, and looking forward to it. Me personally. So if you're going to be in the Laughlin area, as Jim Riley said, definitely a lot of people that give back there, and definitely come and support it and check out the racing action. I know rooms are dirt cheap, like $50-$60 a night. No excuse not to come out to Laughlin and play. But Polaris, a big part of that, as well as King of the Hammer UTV race. So looking forward to all of that, and looking forward to a lot of Razor news coming up. I know talk with Mark Burnett, my General Tire teammate, who signed a multi-year deal with Polaris to race Razors in both Best in the Desert and in the Score series, and he's loving his new Razors, but he's really looking forward to that UTV World Championship. He also has a freestyle motocross tour. He's bringing all those guys in, and they're going to be putting on some shows there. And so I think it's going to be the Polaris Razor UTV World Championship's definitely going to be off the hook here in a couple of weeks. Also, Ford launching the Ford Focus RS this past weekend, or this past Monday. Ken Block dropping his livery. I guess we should talk about that. New livery for Ken Block. Kind of one of my favorites that he's had recently. But tying in with that, new Ford Focus RS. Those of you familiar with this car, it's been a Europe-only ride up until now, but Ford announcing it is finally coming stateside in its newest iteration in 2016. 320 horsepower EcoBoost, same EcoBoost engine that you find in the Mustang. 320 foot-pounds of torque. And those are baselines. It says it will at least have 320 horsepower and 320 foot-pounds of torque. It's a turbocharged EcoBoost 6-speed stick, manual gearbox, so you got to love that, not going to those stupid paddle shifters or any of that, and putting a legitimate stick shift in there. You gotta love that. All-wheel drive, that was the big one. Everybody thought Ford was just going to go to the front-wheel drive. Ford said, no. We're bringing all-wheel drive in this bad boy. And I guess it's a new technology for all-wheel drive, and it actually can divert 70% of the power to the rear, and up to 100% of that 70 can be at one wheel. So got a lot of torque vectoring, all-wheel drive control in there. Should be a rocket ship. Lightweight. I'm sure it's going to have Recaro seats and the whole works. But pictures are up. Jalopnik got a nice write-up on that. But you definitely want to check that out. That coming in 2016, and I got to tell you, I gotta get my order in for one of these. I've been waiting for this for like 10 years, literally, and super stoked that Ford is finally bringing that to the United States. Also, Formula Drift announcing as a Canadian series. Round one going to be round 1, round 2, and round 3. Going to be across Canada. I'm going to have some races in Montreal, Troy River. But the finale, I guess, champ of the 3 rounds are going to get a bid into the World Championship round September 6th and 7th there in Canada. So, Canada stepping up with Formula Drift. This sport definitely going worldwide now. Had some great, well-attended races last year, and looking forward to what they've got in store in Formula Drift in Canada. So, I've got a lot going on this week. I got autograph signings, qualifying tomorrow. continue to see Friday and racing on Saturday, but lots of other action. King of the Hammers going on this week. Supercross from San Diego, the Parker 425. Next week on air, though, we're going to hopefully have some King of the Hammers winners, some of my KMC Wheels teammates, 425 winners, as well as some of the Team GT drivers that win. Ami Houde, she'll be back. Looks like we're going to have Joe Duncan calling in from Terracross, bringing us up to date on that series. So lots to look forward to on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School, UPR.com, who recently launched a new website, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island, Jamar Performance Brakes, Parker Motor Company, Intensities, Ami Houde, Jim Riley, all my friends at Rally America. Don't forget to catch those back episodes at rallyamericaradio.com. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show or DownandDirtyShow.com for all your back episodes. And be sure to download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, and Google Play. Get that in your smartphone. Never miss an episode again. So thanks to all of you for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And, it's going to be a wild, wild week for me. I can promise you that. It's been crazy already with the snow and everything else. And we're still moving forward, pushing on this week. And we got the kickoff to the Best in the Desert series this weekend that I'll be driving. So be looking at my social media for updates on the race. And our friends at race-desert.com, they're going to have full live coverage of the event on their website. So, those of you sitting at home that can't make it out to events between King of the Hammers, Parker 425, and Supercross, you should have plenty to keep you busy. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, making this show happen each and every Monday. And as always, it is game on.